It was a Friday night when my wife told me she was going out with some friends from work. I didn't think much of it at first. She had gone out before, and I trusted her. But that night, she didn't come home. I stayed awake until dawn, waiting for the sound of her key turning in the lock. It never came. By morning, I was filled with both worry and suspicion. I tried calling her phone several times, but every call went unanswered. I convinced myself that maybe she had too much to drink and stayed with a friend. Still, something inside me told me there was more to it. Around 10 a.m., I finally got a message from her. It was short and cold. "Don't worry, I stayed with a friend." No apology, no explanation, nothing to calm my nerves. That text alone told me the truth I had been trying not to face. She wasn't being faithful. I decided not to confront her immediately. Instead, I kept quiet and began observing. Over the next few days, her behavior only confirmed my suspicions. She was glued to her phone, smiling at texts she wouldn't share, and suddenly taking longer trips to the grocery store. It was obvious she thought I was blind. One night, after she went to bed, I checked the phone bill. The same number appeared dozens of times late at night. I dialed it, and a man answered. His voice alone made me furious, but I hung up without a word. That was enough proof. I didn't want a screaming match or drama. If she wanted to betray me, I would let her dig her own grave. My plan was simple: prepare everything quietly, and when the time was right, make sure she had nothing left to stand on. Over the next week, I moved money from our joint account into my personal one. I gathered documents, printed the phone records, and even made copies of her text conversations that I managed to catch. Piece by piece, I built my case. When Friday rolled around again, she tried the same excuse. "I'll be home late, don't wait up." This time, I just smiled and said, "All right, have fun." She looked relieved, almost too relieved, like she thought she had me fooled. That night, instead of waiting, I packed her belongings into boxes. Clothes, shoes, everything she had scattered around the house went neatly into the garage. By morning, the house was spotless, without a trace of her inside. Around noon, she finally texted again. This time, it was, "I think we need to talk." I didn't reply. Instead, I left her a letter on the kitchen table, taped to the box of her favorite things. In it, I wrote, "Asterisk, you chose your nights out and your lies. I choose peace. The bank account is closed, the locks are changed, and the lawyer will contact you on Monday. Enjoy your new life. You earned it." Asterisk. When she finally showed up at the door, she tried the handle and realized it had been changed. She knocked, called my name, even cried. I watched from inside, calm as ever. She had spent the night in someone else's arms, and now she had nowhere to go. Her family called me later, asking why I had been so harsh. I sent them copies of the records, the messages, and even the late-night calls. After that, the calls stopped. Everyone knew the truth. It wasn't easy letting go of years of marriage, but the weight of betrayal lifted the moment I closed the door on her for good. She wanted to play games, and she lost everything. For me, revenge wasn't about anger, it was about taking back control and finally walking away with dignity. And as she stood outside with her boxes, begging me to let her in, I realized I didn't feel hate anymore. I felt free. That was the sweetest revenge of all.